Every morning you wake up with two invisible doors in front of you. One door leads to repetition, the same habits, the same excuses, the same average results. The other door leads to growth, discipline, clarity, momentum, and a future that looks different from your past. The problem is, most people don't even realize they are choosing. They think life just happens. They think success belongs to the lucky. They think powerful people are born different. But here's the truth. Your morning decides your life. Before the world sends you notifications, before people demand your attention, before problems knock at your door, there is a small, quiet window of power. In that window, you either take control or you surrender. And the choice you make in those first moments silently shapes the next 24 hours. Those 24 hours shape your week shape your year, and your years build your destiny. Look around you. Some people are moving forward fast. Others are stuck in the same place for years. The difference is not intelligence, it is not background, it is not luck. It is how they start their day. While most people negotiate with their alarm, scroll through distractions, and react to the world, a few individuals rise with intention. They build before others wake up. They think before others speak. They act before others complain. The morning is not just a time on the clock. It is a psychological battlefield. It is where discipline fights comfort. It is where focus fights distraction. It is where vision fights doubt. And whoever wins that battle wins the day. If you lose your morning, you spend the rest of the day trying to recover. You ration. You feel behind. But when you win your morning, you walk differently. You speak differently. You decide differently. There's a quiet confidence inside you because you know you are ahead. Not of other people, but of your old self. Imagine waking up tomorrow and knowing exactly who you are becoming. Imagine starting your day with strength instead of stress. Imagine building momentum so powerful that by noon you have already achieved what others postponed all day. That is not fantasy. That is a decision. This is not about waking up at a specific hour. This is not about copying someone else's routine. This is about ownership. Ownership of your time. Ownership of your focus. Ownership of your attitude. Because the world will always try to control your attention. But the morning is your territory. If you truly want a different life, stop waiting for a different opportunity. Start with a different morning. The secret to success is not hidden in some distant future. It is hidden in the first hour after you open your eyes. And today, we are going to uncover why your morning decides your life, and how mastering it can quietly transform everything. Stay with me until the end, because what you understand in the next few minutes might completely change the way you wake up tomorrow. Every life is shaped in the quiet hours when no one is watching. The first keynote, win the first hour of your day, is not just a productivity trick. It is a philosophy of control. The first hour after you wake up is the steering wheel of your entire day. If you grab it firmly, you choose the direction. If you ignore it, the world grabs it for you. Most people wake up and immediately surrender. They surrender to notifications, to messages, to other people's emergencies, to random videos, to yesterday's unfinished emotions. And before they even step out of bed, they have already lost control of their mindset. But the ones who rise, breathe, think, and act intentionally in that first hour, they are not just starting a day, they are designing a future. Think about it deeply. When you wake up, your mind is fresh soil. Whatever you plant in it during the first hour will grow throughout the day. If you plant stress, comparison, fear, and distraction, that's what will grow. If you plant clarity, gratitude, ambition, and discipline, that is what will grow. The first hour determines your emotional temperature. It determines whether you react or lead. It decides whether you drift or drive. Most failures do not happen because people lack talent. They happen because people lose the morning. Winning the first hour is about intentional action before the world interrupts you. It is about silence before noise. It is about clarity before chaos. When you wake up and immediately check your phone, you are allowing other people's priorities to become yours. But when you wake up and take a few moments to breathe deeply, stretch your body and reflect on your goals, you are telling your brain, I am in control. That small act of discipline builds identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who leads their life instead of someone who is dragged by. There's power in momentum. The first action of the day sets a chain reaction. If your first action is laziness, the second becomes easier to justify. If your first action is discipline, the second becomes natural. One disciplined hour creates a disciplined morning. A disciplined morning creates a productive afternoon. A productive afternoon builds a successful week, compounds into a powerful year. Powerful year. And powerful years create extraordinary lives. The chain always starts with the first hour. Many people say they want success, but they negotiate with their alarms. They hit snooze again and again, not realizing they are training their mind to delay action. Every time you hit snooze, you teach your brain that comfort is more important than commitment. But when you wake up immediately, even when it's hard, you are training mental strength. You are telling yourself that your dreams matter more than your temporary comfort. That is how confidence is built, not by speeches, not by motivation videos, but by small daily victories that no one sees. Winning the first hour does not mean doing something extreme. It means doing something intentional. It can be exercise to awaken your body, reading to awaken your mind, journaling to organize your thoughts, planning to structure your day, or learning something new to sharpen your skills. The key is focus, no distractions, no chaos, just you and your growth. In that hour, you are investing in yourself before investing in the world. Your morning routine is your personal leadership training. When you consistently control the first hour, you start trusting yourself. You build self-respect as the foundation of success. When you respect yourself, you stop tolerating excuses. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting for the perfect time. You understand that the perfect time is the moment you wake up. Energy also follows direction. If you start your morning rushing, stressed and unprepared, your body releases tension. That tension affects your decisions. You become reactive. You speak harshly. You think negatively. But when you start your morning calm and focused, you carry that stability into meetings, studies, conversations, and challenges. You respond wisely instead of reacting emotionally. That emotional control gives you an edge over others who are ruled by their moods. The first hour is also where identity is shaped. Successful people are not successful because of luck. They are successful because of consistent habits, and habits are strongest in the morning. When you wake up early and work on your goals while others sleep, you are building an identity of discipline. Over time, you no longer need motivation. Discipline becomes natural. Growth becomes automatic. Excellence becomes normal. Remember, the world will always try to distract you. It will demand your attention, your energy, your focus. But the morning is your private territory. Guard it fiercely. Protect it like a treasure. Because if you lose the morning, you spend the rest of the day trying to catch up. But if you win the morning, the rest of the day follows your lead. Success is not created in one big moment. It is built in small, repeated choices. And the most powerful of those choices happens right after you open your eyes. The first hour is your declaration to the universe. It says whether you are serious about your dreams or just casually interested. It says whether you will command your life or complain about it. If you truly want to change your life, do not wait for a new year. Do not wait for a big opportunity. Start tomorrow morning. Wake up with purpose. Sit with your thoughts. Move your body. Plan your actions. Feed your mind. And step into the day already ahead. Win the first hour, and you will slowly realize that you are not just winning days. You are building a life that others only wish for. The second keynote is protect your mind before the world attacks it. Every morning, before you even step outside, a battle begins. It is not a battle with other people. It is not a battle with circumstances. It is a battle for your focus, your emotions, your belief, and your direction. And the world is always ready to occupy your mind the moment you allow it. News, social media, negative conversations, comparisons, doubts, criticism. These are not small things. They are silent forces that shape your thinking. If you do not protect your mind early in the morning, you will spend the rest of the day fighting unnecessary mental wars. Your mind in the morning is highly sensitive. It is like freshly poured concrete. Whatever steps on it leaves a mark. If the first thing you see is bad news, fear enters. Fear enters. If the first thing you see is someone else's success on social media, comparison enters. If the first thing you hear is someone complaining, negativity enters. And once these emotions enter, they influence your decisions, your confidence, and your energy. Most people don't realize that their bad day did not start at noon. It started in the first few minutes after waking up. Protecting your mind means being selective about what you allow in. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every message requires an immediate response. Not every piece of information deserves space in your brain. Successful people understand that attention is currency. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If you give your attention to distractions, your life becomes distracted. If you give your attention to growth, your life grows. The world is loud. It constantly tells you what to buy, how to look, how to act, what to fear, and what to chase. If you wake up and immediately connect to this noise, you lose clarity about your own direction. You begin reacting instead of leading. You start chasing trends instead of building vision. You compare instead of creating. Protecting your mind in the morning gives you the space to remember who you are and what you want before others tell you who to be. Mental protection is not about isolation, it's about preparation. Just like an athlete warms up before entering a competition, you must strengthen your mind before facing the day. That can mean reading something powerful, listening to something inspiring, writing down your goals, or sitting in silence to organize your thoughts. When you fill your mind with purpose first, negativity has less room to settle. One of the biggest threats to your mind is comparison. In the morning, when your mind is still forming its identity for the day, comparison can steal confidence instantly. You see someone achieving more, earning more, traveling more, and suddenly your progress feels small. But comparison is a thief. It steals joy, motivation, and focus. Protecting your mind means reminding yourself that your journey is different, your timeline is different. Your strengths are different. Growth is personal, not competitive. Another threat is fear. The world often highlights problems more than opportunities. If you allow fear to enter your mind first thing in the morning, it shapes your decisions. You become cautious instead of bold. You hesitate instead of acting. But when you protect your mind, you choose courage first. You remind yourself of your strengths. You focus on solutions instead of obstacles. That mindset changes how you approach challenges. Your thoughts create your emotions, and your emotions influence your actions. If your mind starts negative, your actions will be hesitant. If your mind starts focused, your actions will be decisive. That is why protecting your mind is not optional. It is foundational. It is not about ignoring reality. It is about choosing the lens through which you see. Discipline plays a huge role here. It takes discipline to resist the urge to check notifications immediately. It takes discipline to avoid scrolling endlessly. It takes discipline to sit quietly with your own thoughts instead of seeking constant stimulation. But that discipline builds mental strength. And mental strength is what separates leaders from followers. When you control your mental input in the morning, you gain emotional stability. You are less reactive. You are less easily offended. You are less likely to lose focus. Instead of being pulled in different directions, you move steadily toward your goals. Emotional control becomes your advantage. Protecting your mind also means protecting your belief. The world will not always believe in your dreams. Some people will doubt you. Some will criticize you. Some will not understand your ambition. If you begin your day already filled with external opinions, your self-belief weakens. But if you start your day reinforcing your own vision, you become harder to shake. You walk into the world grounded in your purpose. Your morning thoughts are like the foundation of a building. If the foundation is weak, the structure struggles. But if the foundation is solid, the building stands firm even in storms. Challenges will come during the day. Stress will appear. Unexpected problems will test you. But if your mind was prepared and protected in the morning, you will respond calmly instead of collapsing emotionally. Remember this, the world is always trying to rent space in your mind. If you don't set boundaries, it will occupy it fully. Protecting your mind in the morning is like locking your door before stepping outside. It ensures that when you leave your house, you are secure. When you step into your day, you should do so with mental armor, not mental weakness. Every great achievement starts with belief. And belief starts with thought. If you control your thoughts early, you control your direction. You become intentional instead of accidental. You become proactive instead of reactive. You build a day based on your vision, not based on random influence. Your morning decides whether your mind belongs to you or to the world. If you guard it, strengthen it, and fill it with purpose, you carry power into every room you enter. But if you leave it unprotected, you spend the day trying to regain control. Protect your mind first, and you will notice that challenges feel smaller, confidence feels stronger, and your direction feels clearer. When your mind is strong at sunrise, your life becomes stronger by sunset. The third keynote is build momentum before the world wakes up. Success is rarely about one giant action. It is about rhythm. It is about movement. It is about creating progress so early in the day that by the time others are just beginning, you're already ahead. Momentum is powerful because it reduces resistance. When you start moving early, continuing becomes easier. When you delay action, starting becomes heavier. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary often lies in who builds momentum first. Think about a train. At the beginning, it moves slowly. It requires energy, force, and effort to push forward. But once it gains speed, it becomes almost unstoppable. The same principle applies to your life. The hardest part of any goal is starting. But if you use your morning to begin, whether it is studying, exercising, building a project, or planning your strategy, you remove the mental barrier that stops most people. You are no longer thinking about doing the work. You are already doing it. Many people waste the early hours waiting to feel ready. They say they will start later. They postpone their most important tasks until they are fully awake, fully comfortable, fully motivated. But motivation is unreliable. Momentum is reliable. If you wait for perfect emotions, you will waste powerful time. If you act before you feel ready, you create energy through action. Morning momentum gives you psychological advantage. When you accomplish something meaningful early in the day, you walk with confidence. Even if challenges appear later, you already have proof that you made progress. That proof strengthens your belief. You do not feel behind. You feel ahead. That feeling changes how you think, how you make decisions. Momentum also destroys procrastination. Procrastination grows in empty space. When you wake up without direction, your mind searches for easy pleasure. It chooses comfort over growth. But when you wake up and immediately engage in purposeful action, you close the door to distraction. You teach your brain that action is normal, not optional. The early hours are powerful because distractions are fewer. Demands are fewer. Demands are fewer. Noise is lower. It is your quiet competitive advantage. While others are sleeping or scrolling, you are building. While others are reacting, you are creating. Over time, the small daily edge compounds. It may not look dramatic in one day, but in 1 year, the difference becomes obvious. Momentum is not about rushing. It is about consistency. Even small progress matters. Reading 10 pages, writing 1 paragraph, practicing 1 skill, exercising for 20 minutes, planning your top 3 priorities. These actions may seem small, but they create flow. Once you enter flow, you reduce mental friction. You are less likely to waste time later because you already began with strength. There is also emotional momentum. When you start your day with action, you reduce anxiety. Many people feel stressed because they keep thinking about what they need to do but have not started. That mental burden grows heavier with time, but when you begin early, that weight becomes lighter. You replace worry with execution. Building momentum before the world wakes up also builds discipline. Discipline is not developed in comfort, it is built in quiet effort. When you choose to act while others rest, you strengthen your character. You prove to yourself that you are serious. You are not dependent on applause. You are not waiting for external validation. You are working because your goals matter to you. This keynote is also about ownership. If you wait until the day fully begins, your schedule becomes controlled by others. Emails, calls, responsibilities, unexpected tasks, they take over. But if you move early, you control the most important part of your progress before interruptions arrive. You protect your growth from being pushed aside. Momentum creates clarity. When you start early, your thinking becomes sharper. You are not overwhelmed because you have already taken action. Action organizes your thoughts better than overthinking ever can. Instead of analyzing endlessly, you learn by doing. Instead of doubting, you adjust through experience. Many successful individuals share one habit. They do not let the day start without them. They start before the day demands their attention. That proactive approach builds confidence. Confidence is not built by positive thinking alone. It is built by consistent action. Every morning you act early, you collect evidence that you are capable, and that evidence strengthens your mindset. There will be days when you feel tired. There will be mornings when staying in bed feels easier. But momentum is built on commitment, not emotion. If you rely on feelings, you will break your rhythm. If you rely on discipline, you protect it. The key is not perfection, it is consistency. So, even on low energy days, small action keeps the chain unbroken. Over time, momentum becomes identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who struggles to start. You begin seeing yourself as someone who moves, someone who acts, someone who builds. That identity shift is powerful. When you believe you are proactive, you naturally behave proactively. Momentum also creates opportunity. When you are consistently progressing, people notice. Skills improve. Results improve. Opportunities align with prepared individuals. Luck often favors those who are already in motion. When you are standing still, opportunity passes by unnoticed. When you are moving, you collide with possibilities. Your morning is the launch pad of your day. If you launch slowly, the rest of the journey drags. If you launch with power, the rest of the day flows. Momentum removes the heavy feeling of starting again and again. It keeps you in continuous progress. In life, time moves forward whether you act or not. But progress only moves when you do. Building momentum before the world wakes up ensures that your progress begins before excuses appear. It ensures that by the time others are deciding whether to start, you are already advancing. If you want to change your life, do not wait for massive inspiration. Create small, powerful actions early. Protect your mornings as momentum-building time. Act before doubt speaks. Move before fear grows. Build before distraction arrives. Because once you gain speed, it becomes easier to stay ahead than to catch up. When you consistently build momentum at sunrise, you carry strength into every hour that follows. And eventually you will realize something powerful. You are no longer chasing success. You are moving so steadily that success begins chasing you. The fourth keynote is decide your attitude before the day tests it. Every single day will challenge you. There will be delays, criticism, unexpected problems, mistakes, misunderstandings, and pressure. You cannot control all of these things, but you can control one powerful element before any of them happen: your attitude. The mistake most people make is waiting for events to shape their mood. They wake up neutral, step into the world, and allow circumstances to decide how they feel. But leaders, achievers, and resilient individuals make a different choice. They decide their attitude in advance. Your attitude is not just a mood. It is your lens. It is the filter through which you interpret events. Two people can face the same problem and experience different outcomes because their attitudes are different. One sees difficulty and thinks, this is happening to me. The other sees the same difficulty and thinks, what can this teach me? The event is the same. The reaction is different. And that reaction determines progress. When you wake up in the morning, you have a small window of power. In that window, you can consciously choose how you will respond to the day. You can decide that no matter what happens, you will remain calm. You can decide that setbacks will not break your focus. You can decide that criticism will become feedback, not a wound. This decision, made early, prepares your mind like armor before entering battle. Most people live reactively. Something small goes wrong and their mood collapses. Traffic makes them angry. A message makes them anxious. A mistake makes them doubt themselves. Their emotional state rises and falls with every external event. This creates instability, destroys consistency. But when you decide your attitude in advance, you reduce emotional swings. You remain steady. Attitude is a choice repeated daily. It is not about pretending everything is perfect. It is about choosing strength over weakness, growth over blame, and responsibility over excuses. When you take responsibility for your attitude, you stop blaming others for your feelings. You understand that while you cannot control every situation, you always control your response. There is immense power in emotional discipline. If you start your morning by deciding, today I will focus on solutions, your brain begins searching for solutions automatically. If you decide, today I will remain patient, you are more likely to pause before reacting. Your pre-decided attitude becomes a guide for your behavior. Without that guide, emotions take control. Life will test you when you least expect it. You might face rejection. You might make a mistake. You might encounter negativity from others. If you have not chosen your attitude beforehand, you will respond impulsively. But if you already decided that challenges are part of growth, your reaction becomes intentional. Your attitude also influences others. When you walk into a room with positivity and confidence, you change the atmosphere. People feel your energy. They respond differently. Leadership often begins with emotional control. If you remain stable under pressure, others trust you more. If you panic, others panic. By deciding your attitude early, you become a source of strength rather than chaos. Gratitude is one of the most powerful attitudes you can choose in the morning. When you begin your day appreciating what you have, your opportunities, your health, your goals, you build emotional resilience. Gratitude reduces fear and increases focus. It shifts your attention from what is missing to what is possible. Another powerful attitude is curiosity. Instead of fearing problems, you can choose to approach them with curiosity. What can I learn from this? That simple shift transforms obstacles into lessons. It reduces frustration and increases adaptability. Confidence is also a chosen attitude. Confidence does not mean believing you will never fail. It means believing that even if you fail, you can recover. When you start your day, reminding yourself of your abilities and past achievements, you strengthen your inner belief. That belief becomes your shield against doubt. Negativity spreads quickly if you are unprepared. One negative comment can affect your entire day if your attitude is unstable. But when you decide your mindset too early, negativity loses its power. It may still appear, but it does not control you. Choosing your attitude also builds inner peace. Instead of constantly fighting your emotions, you align them with your goals. You reduce internal conflict. You move with clarity. When challenges arise, you respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. It is important to understand that attitude is practiced, not inherited. You strengthen it through repetition. Every morning, you consciously choose positivity, resilience, and focus. You are training your mind. Over time, it becomes natural. You do not need to remind yourself constantly because it becomes part of your identity. The world respects those who remain composed under pressure. Calmness in chaos is rare. When you decide your attitude early, you prepare yourself to handle stress with maturity. Instead of complaining, you analyze. Instead of quitting, you adjust. Instead of blaming, you improve. At the end of the day, success is not just about skills or knowledge. It is about emotional strength. Many talented people fail because they cannot manage their attitude when things go wrong. But even average talent can achieve greatness with the right mindset. Your morning decision shapes your daily experience. If you decide to approach the day with determination, gratitude, patience, and courage, you carry those qualities into every interaction and challenge. If you leave your attitude undecided, the world will decide it for you. Before you step into the noise, before you face the pressure, before the first challenge appears, choose strength, choose responsibility, choose calmness, because once the day begins, it moves fast. And when you have already decided who you will be, nothing unexpected can easily shake you. Your morning does not just decide what you will do, it decides who you will be when life tests you. And when you consistently choose the right attitude before sunrise, you build a life that remains steady. even when the world around you is not. So now you understand something powerful. Your life is not controlled by luck, by background, or by perfect timing. It is controlled by daily decisions. And the most important of those decisions happens when your eyes open each morning. The world does not decide your future. Your habits do, and your habits begin at sunrise. Every successful life is built quietly. It is built when no one is clapping. It is built when no one is watching. It is built in those early moments when discipline whispers and comfort tries to pull you back. That is where your real character is revealed. That is where your future is shaped. You don't need a massive breakthrough. You don't need a dramatic opportunity. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You need one thing: control over your morning. Because when you control your morning, you control your focus. When you control your focus, you control your actions. And when you control your actions, you control your results. Think about the person you want to become. Stronger, smarter, more confident, more successful. That person is not created in one big moment. That person is built day by day. And every day begins the same way, with a choice. To rise with purpose or to roll over with excuses. To build momentum or to delay action. To protect your mindset or to let the world invade it. To decide your attitude or to let circumstances decide it for you. Your alarm clock is not just a sound. It is a challenge. It's asking you, are you serious about your dreams? Your answer is not spoken with words. It is spoken with action. If you want different results, you must start different mornings. If you want confidence, earn it early. If you want discipline, practice it before distractions arrive. If you want growth, chase it before comfort captures you. Imagine this: 1 year from now, you wake up and look back. You will either thank yourself for the mornings you conquered, or you will regret the mornings you wasted. The days will pass anyway. Time will move anyway. The only question is, will you move with it, or will you let it move without you? You have more control than you think. You have more power than you use, and it all begins tomorrow morning. So tonight, don't just sleep. Prepare. Decide who you will be when the sun rises. Decide that you will win the first hour. Decide that you will protect your mind. Decide that you will build momentum. Decide your attitude before life tests it. Because your morning is not just the start of a day. It is the start of a direction. And direction determines destiny. When you wake up tomorrow, remember this moment. Remember that your life is waiting on the other side of discipline. And when the morning comes, don't hesitate. Rise with purpose. Act with intention. Lead your day and your life will follow.